It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
He's a very efficient offensive player. He can do it both inside and out. You know, I told Jaren that I think the thing that I've appreciated the most about him offensively is how he uses the three-point line. I think he has a good ratio right now. He's not just launching threes. I think he's a capable shooter, but, you know, his physicality and his touch around the basket's really good for us. Defensively, size, length, and elite communication. You know, he's helping us in a variety of ways. He's taking the pressure off of the other guys in some ways, and I also think that they're taking the pressure off of him. Like, I think that's where, you know, he and Lowry are going to get talked about a lot, and rightfully so, but I think that Nurk playing with those guys, the size of all three of them, they help each other in a bunch of different ways, so I think he's fitting into the group really well.
Will Hardy on how Jaren Jackson Jr. fits with the Jazz. You know, he fits when they're playing the Sacramento Kings, especially the Kings that have 6 of their top 7 scores. Very, very well. 121-93. PK, they jumped on him early, and it was over in the first quarter. It was over when you found out how many guys were sitting.
Well, I think it was over even if they played. I think the Jazz are a better team. But these other dudes, them just jacking up threes, and it was just, what a gross game, man. I was bored early on.
That's so funny. I was sitting there, and my wife's looking at me in the middle of the second quarter. She comes walking back through the room. What's wrong with you? I'm like, this is boring.
Yeah.
The Jazz are 20 points better. And we just heard Lowry Mark in the last segment say, we kind of lost the focus in the second half. Like, I can't even complain. I lost focus in the second quarter.
Well, I know. I was flicking around.
Yeah.
Trying to find some level of competition. I was watching my alma mater.
Which one?
Grand Canyon.
I thought
New Mexico.
so. Yeah, FS1 had that game.
Right. I mean, that's literally what I was on and then would flick back. His second half was garbage time, if not the last 3 quarters. And Jaren Jackson, he's doing nothing that I knew he couldn't do. This is the way he is. You know, it reminded me of when Taysom Hill got to the NFL. Oh, Taysom Hill, he caught a pass. Oh, he ran 20 yards. He threw the ball. Yeah, I saw him do it here. Of course he can.
He had a 5-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
He hurdled a dude at Texas. I bet he can run
there.
I bet he can run 5 yards without tripping over the
most stunning athletic plays you'll ever see.
Yeah, and now he's not tripping over the 3-yard line, so people are excited.
And this is Jaren Jackson. He's just doing exactly what I anticipated him doing. He's a very good player. No surprise.
Jazz right back at it tonight. Here come the Portland Trail Blazers.
Who are traveling. They were in Minnesota.
7 o'clock tip time.
Boys better watch themselves.
Might accidentally win another game.
Well,
let's find out later today who suddenly can't play, shall we?
Yeah. Even still. I just feel bad for Severino Malahaluk. All of a sudden, he's odd man out.
C is odd man out, yes.
I miss him.
You miss him.
But I still love me some John Conchar. Tatted up dude. He's here to play.
Yeah.
0 for 2 from 3. So what? Doesn't faze him. All the struggles he's been through in life.
A competitor. Johnny
Conchar.
Hard nose.
Didn't know him until last week, and now I love him.
What about Vince Williams Jr.?
Yeah.
Could be a good role guy for him. You pretty much know
discover way more.
You pretty much know the starting lineup, right?
Where does Vince Williams fit in?
As one of the 5 backups.
Where?
I don't know. Positionless basketball. Is he just good enough to get out there? I mean, they want to switch. They're all talking about Hayward. Who was it just said it? I think it was Cody. Just said, hey, Jaren Jackson Jr. makes us better in switching because he can go out and guard the guards. And Vince Williams.
Where does he fit in, though? I mean, I'm not looking for a specific position. I don't know.
I'm just looking at 5 bench guys and thinking that he fits that if when Keontae George is back, right, Collier probably goes to the bench. So Collier, Vince Williams, Bryce Sensabaugh, Cody Williams, Kyle Filipowski, 5 guys who can come off the bench and play.
Yeah, but what about if they keep the draft pick?
Oh, maybe he gets squeezed out then.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's good enough because if he's good enough.
I don't know if he is.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't watched him play except for 3 games.
Right. The 3 games I look at him, I think he could be good enough.
Well, he's got a body.
And you're right. And it's small sample size, and it looks like he plays hard and hits a few shots. So the shot looks, and when he misses it, the shot looks okay. So, in Conchar and Williams, did they steal 2 more role guys? Or are they going to drop the guy 12 or 13, and they're going to get flipped in whatever the next steal is? Which is useful in its own right if the next deal is good.
I got to have Conchar stay.
Okay. You're emotionally attached to him.
I am, man.
Okay.
29 years old.
Yeah.
All tatted up like that. He's got a big lion on his side. That's what I was trying to figure out. The guy's a lion. I'm going to call him Lion from now on.
Well, why don't you call him the big cat? The big cat.
No, he's a lion. He ain't no cat. He's a lion.
The big cat, John Conchar.
He's got a sleeve of cats. He is a lion.
A lion is a cat.
He roars when he comes in.
Now you're talking. DJ and PK.
#NBA.
You should ask the Europeans if the world team if they're going to compete. I mean, because we look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now. Let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads and the Americans. But these 2 dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor, they shoot from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard. I can read between the lines, bro. And I just think a lot of times, I'm just saying that I can read between the lines. And it's not just about you. It's just a overall topic that everybody has just been talking about. You just happen to ask me that question.
That's Kevin Durant. Asked about are they going to play hard at the All-Star game? The answer is clearly no, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? Please.
So what's he trying to get at, read between the lines?
I think he's probably saying you're not asking the white European guys, you're asking the black American guys.
And who
that
set
was
the
what
tone?
I read. That's what I read in between his lines when he was reading in between that dude's lines.
He's a victim.
Yeah. And I would say, why did you ask me that? It's like, well, because you're the generation who started it, and they're playing follow the leader. Now, honestly, I don't even know, is Luka going to go? I mean, he's been out, and
It doesn't matter.
the
That's
Joker's been out.
that's
No,
not
I
the
know.
point.
It's not. No. And the answer is they're not going to
Who
go.
started the joke?
I think generally people look at LeBron.
Oh, no.
Generally, people look at LeBron. He was the best player with the most cachet, and even if it wasn't his idea in the locker room, hey guys, why don't we dial it back about 35% here? It's easy, does
I'd
it?
say it's about
Even if
95.
it wasn't his idea, it doesn't happen without his okay.
Pickup games have more
Right.
intensity.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing with the freeze outs. Lots of people freeze out whoever, Shaq or whoever the new star is.
Well, yeah,
and a lot of
I
people
just
agree
freeze
to
out 10th Avenue.
a lot of Billy Joel. Thank you.
No,
a
actually,
lot of people agree.
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, my bad. A lot of people
Across the river.
of across the Jersey, New York. Yeah, that's the Hudson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the east is on the other side. It'd be on the east side. Thank you very much. A lot of people say, a lot of people just freeze somebody out. It takes everybody to do it. Okay, but it doesn't happen without Isaiah going, yeah, we're doing it. And it takes a lot of people to not play hard, but there's still, everybody's going to look at the guy and follow him, you'd think.
If 8 guys
I
played
think.
hard, would Jokic and Doncic jog up and down? They were on the court, and the other 8 guys are busting it.
Doncic would and Jokic wouldn't because Jokic doesn't look like he's playing hard for Denver, and he's dominating.
Okay, would he be playing hard? I don't care what he
would
looks
be playing
like.
harder. It wouldn't look great, but yeah, he would. He'd be more focused. I mean, when they had the All-Star game here and they picked the teams, they forgot to pick him, or I don't know, they didn't want to pick him. He's not friends with, I don't know what it was. And he just comes off the stage like, oh, shucks, what do I care? It's a stupid All-Star game. I don't want to play anyway. His body language looked like he was going to take a nap.
Even in the All-Star game, it comes down to race.
None of it matters.
Remember that.
They don't care. Right. Yeah. And Durant can read between the lines.
And he's allowed to say it.
Yeah.
And
I can read between the lines.
And you'll turn on ESPN today, and there'll be zero blowback. Most of the folks will agree with him.
Maverick star Cooper Flagg is out against the Lakers with a foot strain. He's going to miss the Rising Star Challenge. It's not just the All-Star game. All the other events guys are dropping out of too. Who did you just tell us? Alex Sarr's out?
Yeah.
Sarr's
Wizards,
out.
Alex Sarr, yep.
It was Alex Sarr. But
Might open a spot for Ace Bailey.
is Cooper Flagg really deserving? Because if he were drafted this year, he'd go like 6th or 7th.
He's still a rising star. They're supposed to have 10 stars.
Isn't that
in
what
it.
Jamal Mashburn said?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Yes, he did. Go look it up.
Okay. What would he go this year, you think?
6th or 7th, according
No,
to
what
Jamal.
do you think? I know what Mashburn thinks now. I got that.
Number 1.
Yeah, he'd still go in front of all these guys.
Yeah. What do you think?
Probably 1 for all the hype he got, but I wondered about 2.
Whoever got that second pick then.
But it
chose
does
him
seem
would be
like
very
people,
lucky.
and maybe we're just sitting here too close and got the blue glasses on. DeBonsa looks pretty awesome.
He does.
But on the other hand, Cooper Flagg's already gone out there for 49 points. If I had to guess, does DeBonsa go for 49 in his rookie season? I'd probably take no.
Well, it depends on what team he goes to.
It
of
does,
course,
and that's
but
part of it is that Flagg's
yeah,
going.
I think DeBonsa, man, any franchise that gets him, count
Right.
your blessings. That'd be he. To me, maybe he's not the best pro, but he's the best college player. And I got a Wooden Award vote, and he right now, it could change. He's going to get it.
Jazz didn't play the only blowout game. I was flipping around like you yesterday and saw the Knicks just absolutely hammering the Sixers up by 40 points. They end up winning 138-89, so a 49-point win on national TV. Nice. All right, DJ and PK.
#NFL.
Yeah, I just want to say I've talked a lot this last week about belief. A lot of people, didn't believe in me, but it didn't matter because the ones that are close believed in me, including y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. To Ken Walker being the MVP, let's go! Woo! He tried negotiating with me 5 minutes ago. It was really weird. Anyway, hey, MVP, MVP, MVP.
Seattle Seahawks have their Super Bowl parade, estimating like 1 million people rolling around celebrating that. You heard Sam Darnold there. Appreciating the appreciation he has received in Seattle after not really being liked in New York or Carolina. And now he's loved. He's a Super Bowl champion. And the MVP, Kenneth Walker, trying to negotiate during the parade. I don't blame him. What the heck? Sounded like 3 or 4 people thought that was hilarious. Nobody else knew what to make of it. DJ and PK.
#BYU.
BYU's leading receiver, Parker Kingston, was charged with first-degree felony rape after a year-long investigation by St. George Police. Kingston is being held without bail in Washington County. He is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow. BYU's athletic department issuing a statement. BYU became aware today of the arrest of Parker Kingston. The university takes any allegation very seriously and will cooperate with law enforcement. Due to federal and university privacy laws and practices for students, the university will not be able to provide additional comment. They investigated for a year. This is supposed to have happened apparently before spring ball last year. So what's going to happen going forward? I guess maybe we'll know more after the court appearance. But PK, this is in addition to whatever happens on the law with the law and in court, and that'll go wherever it goes. I'm curious what the reaction is to BYU being in the headlines in this way for a second straight year. And I know a year ago it was dismissed without prejudice. Nonetheless, there was going to be a long suspension if he stayed. And obviously, Jake Retzlaff left and went to Tulane and played. And you covered the team, and it was a different era, and the situations don't match up exactly. But there are similarities. What's the reaction going to be if leadership, whether it's at the administration level or at the church leadership level, if they're embarrassed by this happening in multiple years, in consecutive years? And what's the message going to be to the team going forward? Like, guys, there better not be a third incident like this. We don't like these headlines. And this isn't what we stand for. This isn't who we want to be. This bothers us big time. I'm just curious if you have any insight into that or if that's kind of unknowable. Other than we know it's got to be some issue, but it's hard to know to what level.
Yeah, that's meaty right there.
I know, and I figured we had spent a whole segment on it, but we don't always want to just blow through scores here.
Right,
and just,
you're right.
And it is. It's we could talk for 20 minutes and not cover all the angles because when I read this yesterday as the news was breaking, I thought, wow, there's a lot to this because there are probably a lot of people in leadership positions who were not in those positions 25 years ago. So how the reaction from those people, may be different. At the same time, there probably are some people who were around for that 25 years ago, and their perspective is informed by that.
Well, appearance is very, very important.
Yeah, and the appearance is
BYU. It's why you've got guys that leadership guys wear suits to sporting events. I mean, you have to be ready at all times. So this is awful, and I'm going to allow the legal process. I'm not going to face judgment on the young man. It will play out as it plays out, right?
Yeah.
But I get your point. That's over there, and the legal system and he deserves the right to represent himself with his legal representation and everything else, and we'll see what happens there. But this is something that no school would want. Right? There's not a school in the country
that wants this headline.
Yeah.
They don't want their school name and this on a ticker during a game.
And we know that with Bronco Mendenhall, I was a beat writer at the time, and people were furious. And that's why he interjected religion as much as he did, because he was told to. We got to get back to what we're about. And that, at that time, 2003, 4, 2002, somewhere in there, it was just a huge negative mark on the institution, which is connected to the church, because they tell you so many times BYU football has brought exposure. Val Hale showed me letters that he had received of people that was their connection, and they end up joining the faith and all that stuff. So yes, it's what's the word? Inextricably linked, and because of the fact that no school would want this, that's why I would tell him there's a person in particular. He needs to back off, stop with the BYU is different. You want to be different, but are you really different? You're paying big money to have athletes on your campus, just like Alabama and Ohio State and so forth, and you've got two ugly circumstances that have gone public. Are you trying to be different? I get that, but are you really different? Your fans want them to win as much as any other fan base wants them to win. So maybe just tone down, because I think it's off-putting when we keep hearing we're different, because what we're saying is we're better.
Yes.
And that doesn't resonate with anybody. And anytime these things happen, you're going to have all sorts of stones chucked at you because you keep telling us you're different, which is your way of saying we're better.
I just think it's got to be, the language has to be tweaked to we aspire to a standard, or we aspire to.
Let it speak for itself. We had Rondo Feldberg on, and he said, we don't talk about it. We let others talk about it. And there's been a few people there who have been running their mouths about how different you are, going on social media, telling us you're different, telling us Kalani stayed because it's different. Kalani said, but I'm a competitor. We were sitting right in the first row, but I'm a competitor, which means if they didn't pony up, I was going to Penn State. Sure, all the other stuff is super important, and I'm not denying it, but in the end, I'm a competitor, which means when they ponied up, that was the tipping point, and that's why I stayed.
And I don't think this
because he wants to win, as he should. He's the football coach.
And he also knows that he is surrounded by competitors.
Yes.
You know Brian Santiago better than I do. I feel pretty confident saying Santiago's a competitor.
Oh, he'll eat your heart out if that's what it takes.
Well, when you're surrounded by competitors, like, if you're going to put me in a massive disadvantage, then I'm going to lose, and you're going to hold me accountable and fire me. So it's not just he wants to win. He also wants to keep his job and keep doing what he loves, which is coaching football. And that'll get taken away from you. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there is much more to this, and we will get to that coming up. Stay with us. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Injuries right out of the gate, PK. Francisco Lindor, broken bone in his hand, going to miss about 6 weeks. He'd played through the pain, but the team grew concerned, so they are shutting him down and letting him get healthy. And we got the news broke late in yesterday's show. Arizona Diamondback star outfielder Corbin Carroll, I believe you called him yesterday, the best player on the team. Is he the guy most likely to sell a ticket? If somebody buys a ticket to see a player, it's probably
him and Ketel Marte.
Yeah. He has a broken bone in his hand. So he's expected to play left field for Team USA in the World Baseball Championships, but now someone else is expected to play left field because he's going to miss the tournament.
He is, yeah.
And then opening day is in question, too. We'll see.
And then if you come back,
see how they heal.
How
and
are you?
Do they need a spring training? And is there residual soreness, even though the X-ray is good? And right.
Everybody needs a spring training. That's just a fact.
DJ and PK. More medals for Utah residents. More residents for Utah medals.
Freaking California people moving in. I thought that's where you were going again.
Jalen Koff secures silver in the freestyle skiing women's mogul. Second straight Olympic silver medal in the freestyle event. Jalen also took home silver in Beijing 4 years ago. George Stoltz taking home gold in the men's 1,000-meter speed skating, clocking the fastest time in 24 years. First of 4 events for the rising superstar. We'll see if it ends up being a multiple gold medalist. 500-meter, 1,500-meter, and the mass start event. Still to come. Mass start. That's what we want. Multiple people on the track. Trading paint in turn 3 like NASCAR. That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, let's see.
How about Finland's ski jumping coach, Igor Medved?
What did he do?
Sent home over an alcohol-related issue.
That's not good. Missing out on the Olympics.
You wait every 4 years, and then you get loaded.
Yeah, letting down athletes along the way. What are you doing? Well, going home is what he's doing. Elaine Elliott, University of Utah, longtime women's basketball coach, now retired, is going to be honored at the Huntsman Center this weekend. They're going to raise a banner with her name on it into the rafters. We're going to talk with her at 8 o'clock. Dave Rose is here because Jimmer Fredette's getting honored at the Marriott Center this weekend. And we're going to talk with Dave Rose about the good old days with Jimmer and about how his head spins when he hears what's happening in college basketball now. The question of the day is coming up. Stay with us.
This Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK reminding you to join Scotty G Thursday from noon to 3 at Minky Couture in Layton. The best blanket ever is also the best Valentine's gift ever. DJ and PK, time for the question of the morning. The Jazz have won 2 in a row. Are you starting to worry about them losing their first round pick? No.
I am.
Because I think they considered it when they traded for Jaren Jackson Jr., and they've got to hide 2 All-Stars now and lose to a bunch of teams who don't have 2 All-Stars. And I think they'll do it by sitting guys for long stretches of games.
Yeah, but what about when George comes back? He's capable of going for 30 in a blink of an eye.
I think they're going to shut down a lot of guys because I have been told repeatedly they are not losing their draft pick.
Yeah,
if they play these guys, you said yesterday, they could go 500 down the stretch easily, and I do not doubt that. I believe that 100%. And if they go 500 down the stretch, I believe they will lose the draft pick.
All of a sudden, they got a good team.
I know. I totally agree. And I think also a lot of guys who it was a stretch to see them as a starter in the NBA, I really do believe that there's enough of a talent gap that when you're the starter and you're asked to play 30 minutes against other starters, you just can't do it. But when you're asked to play 20 minutes against the backup, you can do that. You are that good. And I think some of these guys they've drafted have come along and made progress.
Oh, man.
And so if they're playing everybody, do I think they can go 500 at this time of year against this schedule? Yeah, they got 7 teams left on their schedule who are flat out terrible. Maybe it's 1 less now because when I counted up yesterday, I was counting Sacramento. So maybe it's 6.
Okay, but you take Portland tonight. Portland's coming in from Minnesota.
You're right,
Jazz,
100%. And
Jazz are sleeping in their own beds.
Nice. Did you hear that when you were covering the Lakers for the Daily Breeze, or is that a thing you heard when you came to Utah?
It was mostly an NCAA tournament thing. They're sleeping in their own beds. And I thought, then bring the beds with them if it's that important. They got those big trucks for football.
See? Load them up. Let's go. Throw some mattresses in there, some pillows. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, the Lakers didn't need any.
Yeah, didn't worry about that.
They could have slept standing up. They were horses, those guys, the way they ran and the way they played. So they always had a talent advantage back in the 80s when I was down there. But you look at George and Bailey, they can give you 50, and no one's going to bat an eye.
That's true.
And you're playing 6 teams, and I haven't doped it out,
right?
That suck.
Yep.
And they're going to suck even more.
And then to just
they
win.
said a couple of their guys.
Right.
Man, I'm nervous.
Yes, they've got, when they come back from the break, they actually start on the road with a couple games, but they're at Memphis right away. And I'm not even counting Memphis as one of the terrible teams, but that's a winnable game. Well, I've got a separate group over here that's got Washington and Indiana and New Orleans. They play New Orleans twice at the end of February. At home.
They suck.
I know. When I'm talking about these 6-7 games.
And you're going to have Jaren Jackson going back there. We saw what Rob Wright did when he went back to Texas.
They haven't played the Wizards yet. They still have to play the Wizards twice.
Twice?
Yes.
Wizards sitting everybody.
I know. The Wizards, actually, I was watching more. All the talking heads all day were feeding off that whole conversation that we had yesterday morning about the comments. We weren't the only ones who commented on the comments, right?
Right.
And I wonder what PTI would say, and it was totally predictable. Kornheiser went right to Utah sent him in the fourth quarter. He said, the Wizards traded for two guys I actually know who they are, and they immediately said, they're injured, they're not playing.
Right, and that's the hometown team.
And that's his hometown team. And he's like, there's lots of teams in the NBA that aren't even lifting a finger to win.
Right.
Yep.
So that's right there. That's 4 wins off the top of my head. Tonight, Memphis, New Orleans twice, and I don't even know any of the other teams.
Right. Well, they have New Orleans again in April. So
right, I said New Orleans twice.
No, 3 times. They have them twice at home, February 26th and 28th, and in New Orleans, April 7th.
Right, but maybe just dumb luck, you don't sweep them. But you're still going to get 2.
If the Jazz are playing everybody and playing hard, I think they sweep them.
I know, but they're not going to.
No, I think they're going to sit guys.
So, I'm going to make sure I'm clear here. So they sit guys.
Uh-huh.
They could have sat guys last night and still won that game.
Yes.
So
true.
they sit guys against New Orleans.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But they still can win 2 out of 3.
I see where you're going. Yes. Yeah, you're not off. You're not
obviously, if they played all their guys, they had an excellent chance to win 3 out of 3.
Right.
But I'm assuming, as you said, they sit guys. But I still see them getting a couple of wins, even with sitting guys, because you have guys like George and Bailey. And I'm telling you, hey, Chicho, pay attention here. This is an old movie, but it's a Christmas classic. If they have George and Bailey, which means they have George Bailey, what does that equal? It's A Wonderful Life. Because the movie The Wonderful Life, who is the lead character? George Bailey. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and use that on your family up there. Well, you're from the north end of this area, right? When you get back up there over the weekend, go ahead and use that with your family. They'll say, wow.
Use it on the Saturday show too.
Oh,
It'll be a new audience. Credit PK. Don't be a thief.
You don't have to credit me.
Yes, you do.
No, you
PK
don't.
likes you right now. He's not into plagiarism. So you can credit PK.
I'm allowing him. I am taking this young man under my wing because a couple years back I got in a traffic accident and I didn't have any wheels. And he volunteered to take me home after a Utah football game. But I told him, just take me to the park and ride just over off the freeway there by 33rd, and my wife would come. But he was willing to take me all the way.
That a kid, Chicho.
All the way. That's why this kid's going to go places.
Haven't washed my car since.
When I'm pushing up daisies, he very well could be in his chair.
There you go.
Right. So go ahead. You can say, with the Jazz, George Bailey, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. Those guys can go for 50, and no one's going to bat an eyelash.
No, it's true.
I am nervous about this team blowing it.
And that's why I was talking to you a couple days ago and putting up on social media, they're going to need to sit 8 guys. I get it. Because these other teams, how low was the bar with Sacramento? The number one, they're not any good. And number 2, they sat 6 of their 7 leading scorers. And you count the fact they traded one of them away in midseason. They were without 7 of their 8 leaders this year because they traded Dennis Schroeder away. They didn't run. Well, DeMar DeRozan, I don't know who he pissed off, but he had to play. But other than that, they didn't run anybody out there average 10 points a game. That's not a high bar.
I know. So
that's
the Jazz got more talent.
I know. And they're going to have to sit guys.
Yeah,
but I think
they become
the
lightning rod for tanking. All of a sudden, you look up tanking, and you got the Jazz logo on there. When it's been done for 20, 30 years. It's a joke.
I know.
And so what are they going to do? They're going to fine him? Is Adam Silver going to be sitting courtside with a stern look on his face?
I've been led to believe that they are determined to keep the draft pick.
Of course
and that
they
will
are.
sit people, and if they get fined, so be it.
But now it becomes obvious off the top of my head, and all the deals that were made, they got the best player of the entire league.
Yeah, right. Now that it's all said and done, when you look at all the guys who moved in any deal across the league, if you rank them, there's only one guy who's Defensive Player of the Year and a 2-time All-Star and
Anthony
7
Davis,
feet
but he's
tall.
not playing.
He's not playing, yes.
But you can argue that he's a better player.
I don't think he'll ever be that again. I mean, the injuries have just torn him apart.
I'm going with Jaren Jackson.
Right. Maybe.
And in 3 games, in limited time, he's doing exactly what he's done. And if he received 10 minutes more playing time,
assume he'd score
obviously,
30. Yeah, he'd score 30. The only person who can keep him under 25 right now is Will Hardy by subbing him out.
And you got Locke talking while I'm on tomorrow, talking about how much better he's made the defense and all that stuff, and in just 3 games.
Yes.
Are they going to sit him in the first game against Memphis? And you won't be gassed. You will have had a week off.
Rest. Well, I got to tell you, he's exhausted from Cancun.
I would send him to Mexico and say, Jaren, drink as much tap water as you can.
Ooh. Montezuma's revenge, people.
2-3 weeks.
Jared's just lying on the floor of the hotel. Oh, my stomach feels terrible. Look out, I got to go again.
We were down there, and we went to some excursion. We're on some remote place, and I think we bought some pie or something. And in the night, I wake up, and I am just all over
devastated.
The place. Oh, I am making noises left and right. My wife gets up to help me. I go back, and I did it all in the tub, so you just flush it and clean it, right? Obviously, I vomited. And then a couple hours later, she did it, and I slept through the whole thing.
No.
I didn't hear a thing. She got all mad.
So you got sick to your stomach, and she's up. PK, can I help you? Are you okay?
Right.
And meanwhile, she gets sick.
But I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything. I slept through the whole thing. I felt worse than worse. I was already bad. And that day, we barely. I mean, we're paying for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was her 40th birthday or something. And we sat by the pool, just lying there like 2 corpses. And then it was that night. We couldn't go out on the town or anything, but it was Game 7 between the Celtics and the Lakers. So I just sat. I was out horizontal watching the game. And then the next day, it was our last day, so we forced ourselves to do some stuff. And I think it might have been the World Cup was playing that day. So the streets, we went to like street fair, and of course everyone was all
everybody's
excited.
watching.
Yeah. But yeah, so they got to do something because this guy's come in seamlessly and put up the numbers that he's been putting up without a ball-dominant guard in terms of shooting because George has been out for most of the time, and he's putting up the same numbers that he puts up in limited time. If he got all the carries, the numbers would be astounding.
Thank you, Damian. Thank you, Gordon. The gift that keeps on giving.
I talked with you during the season.
If they play their top 8 guys, then you're right. They are going to win games, and they will be at risk. Even if they still end up with one of the 8 worst records, there's always the risk someone's going to hop you, and you're just going to slide back a spot or 2, and they could lose the pick.
Right, because there's so many teams that are tanking.
I have tried in a conversation with someone I assume is connected and knows what's going on. Say, well, if, and it's just like, they will have one of the top 5 worst records. Talk about something else.
Yeah, but that was before the trade.
It was that. So I'm not going to hold them to the top 5 anymore, but I'm still holding them to the not going to lose the pick.
And when was that?
It was the first third of the season.
Okay, had George blossomed to the level he had?
Not to this lesson, but he was playing very well. I think that was the thing that brought it up. Okay. Now, I don't know that he'd, done his 35 at that point.
Ace Bailey's now playing consistent?
Ace Bailey has absolutely improved since that. But I'm counting those. When I say they have to sit 8
Williams
guys.
Is better?
They could probably play Cody. When I count 8 guys.
If he's your number 1 guy, you're going to lose.
Right. When I count 8 guys, I don't have him in the top 8. I do think sitting Collier is going to have to happen because against teams late in the year that don't want to defend, a guy who's as good at getting in the lane as him.
Right down.
Yes. He last night. He missed the shot last night, but he blew past 2 guys in the open court because the Kings weren't running. And he's fast with the ball.
With the ball, he's very fast.
Yeah.
They didn't have the roaring lion either.
John
Conchar.
Conchar's a guy we may see play. Elijah Harkless is going to have to start playing 25 minutes. That's what's going to have to happen. Blake Hinson, the legendary Blake Hinson.
I don't know who he is.
He's bounced around Lakers, Warriors, Blazers, and I know that because I looked it up because I didn't know who he was.
Is he related
either.
to Roy Hinson?
But he's on the bench now with the. I don't know any of that about him. We'll go to Wikipedia during the break and educate ourselves. But he's bounced around. He's on at least his fourth team. He played at Pitt. He's on the bench last night. DNP coach's decision. Well, he's going to need to get played a lot of minutes. Coach's decision here. If they're going to keep the draft pick, because their top 7-8 guys are going to beat some of these bad teams that are then watered down.
Okay, man, I'm nervous.
I get that, but I think they're going to sit 8 guys. And if they don't, they're going to win games. It's a jeopardy, and your nervousness will be justified. I don't think they're going to do that, but time will tell. And everything I have, I don't have it from Austin. I don't have it from Will Hardy. So the people who are actually going to make this decision, they haven't told me anything, but people I think are connected have, so we'll see how this goes. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody brings you better coverage of the teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The Jazz hammer the Kings 121-93. Any of these young guys changing your opinion of them right now, or do you think at this point we know who they are and the competition is going to get really, really soft here down the stretch with teams just not putting guys out there?
Yes.
I mean, the Kings didn't put guys out there that the Jazz would want on their team.
You're talking to me about have guys changed my mind, or have I had different views? Yes.
Yeah, we have a different view of Isaiah Collier than we did at the start of the season, to be sure. I just don't know how much he's going to be able to change my view now the rest of the season. Even when he hits threes, they're practice quality threes, a lot of these.
Most of them will be for him. He's not going to take a contested three.
Right.
So those will always be the shots. He can run an offense. The assist numbers, they're not flukes. And I don't care what the competition is. And Cody Williams, it's been a slower developmental process, obviously, but he is getting more confident. And with that confidence, makes me think not necessarily next year, but in a year or two, he might be onto something. And it might be what DA saw in him to draft him, what was it, an 8 or 9, somewhere in there. That's something that you have to watch for. So that's 2 guys. Ace has been pleasant to watch him develop. We'll continue to watch him develop. I enjoy watching guys grind and get better because I like to think that's what I did. Just grind. Put your head down and grind. And Keontae George, he's already doing that, and be able to see him and the way he's embraced the team concept and to see him get better after maybe some earlier struggles, that's fun. And it's fun to see Kevin Love over there because it seems like he's having the time of his life.
How about now? And the Kings were shooting literally 20%, but he had 5 rebounds so fast. He finished with 9 in just 16 minutes.
Right.
But it's like, I'm not here to get shots, but I do want to be in the league and I do want to represent. I don't want people looking at box score and seeing the 16 million joke, right? 16 minutes and zeros all the way across. So he goes and gets 9 rebounds in 16 minutes. Made himself useful.
And I am in mourning that Sevi Malahukak has been benched after all he gave and meant to this franchise, and having discarded like he's yesterday's news. It bothers me.
That's championship level sarcasm right there. Svea, Elijah, and Blake Hinson, Oscar Schwebe. Expect to see more of those guys after the All-Star break.
The Big O, absolutely.
The Big O. Stay with us.